Now that you've seen the building blocks of a process map, let's walk through how to create one, step by step. Using a realistic healthcare scenario. Imagine your team has received patient feedback about long appointment times in your clinic. Before proposing a fix, you want to understand what's really happening during the visit. So, you decide to create a current state process map to visualize the entire workflow, from the moment a patient arrives to when they leave the clinic. Step 1. Define the boundaries. You start by defining the process you want to map. In this case, the starting point is the patient arriving and checking in. The ending point is when the patient leaves the clinic after their visit. This clarity is key. It helps your team stay focused and know where to begin and end the mapping effort. Step 2. Gather input. Next, your team gathers information from multiple sources. You interview check-in staff, nurses, providers, and lab personnel. You conduct a Gemba walk, observing patient flow in real time. You review internal policies. You're not relying on one person's perspective. You're building a shared understanding of how the process actually unfolds. Step 3. Sequence the steps. Now your team puts the steps in order using standard mapping symbols. The process starts. Patient arrives and checks in. But you note variation. Some arrive early. Some on time. Some late. The nurse calls the patient back and records their height and weight. The patient is escorted to an exam room. Vital signs are recorded. Medical history and medications are reviewed. You hear that this step varies based on the patient's condition or complexity. The nurse alerts the clinician that the patient is ready by changing the patient status in the EMR. You learn that this step isn't always consistent. Sometimes the clinician misses the alert. The clinician meets with the patient, addresses concerns, and makes a decision about labs. Are labs needed? If yes, the patient is sent to the lab. Labs are completed. A follow-up is scheduled. The patient leaves the clinic. If no, a follow-up is scheduled, and the patient leaves the clinic. As you build the process, remember, arrows connect each step to the next, showing the flow of the process. Every rectangle flows to the next rectangle or decision diamond, and each decision leads to a clear path forward. As you map this out, you may notice delays, inconsistencies, or rework. For example, a sideways D could be used to show waiting time after rooming. A star might flag confusion about when the patient is ready to be seen. These symbols help make the invisible visible. Step 4. Validate the map. Once the draft is complete, you bring it back to the people who do the work. You review it with the front desk, nurses, providers, and lab staff. Their input ensures your map reflects reality, not assumptions. This is where the real value emerges. You'll often hear insights like, "That's not how it always works. This part varies depending on the provider. We usually skip that step when we're running behind." These comments aren't mistakes. They're opportunities. They help identify friction points, variation, and hidden complexity in the process. Use this feedback to make any necessary changes to your map. Step 5. Discuss what you're learning. After validating the map, the team can start identifying pain points. Where are delays occurring? Where is communication breaking down? Are there unnecessary steps or avoidable workarounds? The goal is not to fix the process yet, but to understand it deeply. Creating a current state process map helps teams develop shared insight, break down silos, and prepare for effective improvement.